On the night of March 27, 2022, inside the 94th Academy Awards, a single moment shattered a reputation built over decades. It lasted less than 10 seconds. You've seen it. The whole world has. But what happened after that night might be even more surprising. Because to understand where things stand now, you have to go all the way back to where it really began. And trust me, that beginning isn't what most people expect. Long before the movies, before the fame, before Hollywood, there was Philadelphia in the early 1980s. Hip-hop was growing fast, raw and creative, but still finding its identity. That's where a young Willard Carroll Smith Jr. met DJ Jeffrey Towns. Together, they became DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. But here's what made them different. While other rappers leaned into gritty street stories, they went the opposite way. Clean, funny, relatable. Music you could play on the radio without hesitation. And it worked. But how far could that kind of style really take them? Their big moment came fast. After signing with Jive Records, they released songs that spoke about everyday life, school, parents, awkward situations. Then in 1988, Parents Just Don't Understand changed everything. It didn't just become popular, it made history. In 1989, it won the first ever Grammy for Best Rap Performance. Suddenly, Will Smith wasn't just a rapper. He was one of the faces of a rising global culture. But success that comes too fast often comes with a cost. And this is where things started to slip. Money poured in. And just as quickly, it went out. Luxury spending, big lifestyle changes, and one major mistake, taxes. By his early 20s, Will Smith was already facing millions in IRS debt. $2 to $3 million. Think about that for a second. At the peak of early fame, everything was already at risk. So what do you do when the dream starts to crack? For him, the answer came from an unexpected place: television. Around 1990, a new idea landed in front of him. A sitcom about a street-smart kid from West Philadelphia moving into a rich family's mansion in Bel Air. It sounded risky, different, maybe even strange. But he said yes. And just like that, everything changed again. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air was born. But was this just a temporary fix, or something much bigger? The show premiered in September 1990 and quickly found its audience. It wasn't like other sitcoms. It mixed fast, street-style humor with classic family storytelling. The contrast between Will's character and the Banks family created constant tension and comedy. People loved it. But what really made the show stand out wasn't just the jokes. It was what happened when the laughter stopped. There was one moment that defined it all. Season 4. Will's estranged father returns, and then leaves again. The scene builds quietly, then breaks wide open with one line. "How come he don't want me, man?" It didn't feel like acting. It felt real. Raw. And suddenly, this wasn't just a comedy anymore. It was something deeper. But why did that moment hit so hard? Because the show wasn't afraid to go there. It tackled real issues: abandonment, race, class, identity. It used humor to pull you in, then hit you with truth. Over 6 seasons and 148 episodes, it turned Will Smith into a global star. But by the time it ended in 1996, something else was already happening behind the scenes. Hollywood was calling. And this time, the stakes were even higher. His film career kicked off with Bad Boys in 1995. Action, comedy, chemistry, it worked. The movie made over $140 million worldwide. Suddenly, he wasn't just a TV star anymore. Then came 1996 and Independence Day. A massive alien invasion story. Big scale. Bigger audience. It made over $800 million. That's when things really changed. But could he keep that momentum going? He did. In 1997, Men in Black sealed the deal. Another huge hit. Another global success. By the end of the 90s, Will Smith had become one of Hollywood's most reliable stars. Studios trusted him. Audiences showed up. But then he made a move few expected. He slowed down and got serious. In 2001, he played Muhammad Ali. Not just a role, a transformation. The performance earned him his first Oscar nomination. Then in 2006, The Pursuit of Happiness showed a different side of him. Vulnerable, struggling, human. Another nomination followed. At this point, he wasn't just a blockbuster star. He was respected, balanced between commercial success and critical acclaim. So everything was perfect, right? Not exactly. Behind the fame was a very public personal life. His first marriage ended in 1995, but in 1997, he married Jada Pinkett Smith. Together, they became one of Hollywood's most talked about couples. Their family grew. Their visibility grew. And over time, so did the attention. But attention can be a double-edged sword. And in 2020, things took a turn. During an episode of Red Table Talk, Jada revealed a past relationship with musician August Alsina during a period when she and Will were separated. She called it an entanglement. The word went viral instantly. Memes, headlines, endless debate. But beneath all the noise was something more serious, a marriage that had nearly ended. They said they worked through it. They rebuilt. But did the public ever really move on? And then came March 27, 2022. The Oscars. A global stage. A live audience of millions. Comedian Chris Rock makes a joke about Jada's shaved head, referencing G.I. Jane. What the joke didn't mention was her condition, alopecia. At first, Will laughs. Then something changes. He walks onto the stage. No script. No warning. And in front of the world, he slaps Chris Rock. Silence. Shut. Confusion. Then he returns to his seat and shouts, telling Rock to keep his wife's name out of his mouth. And just like that, everything shifts. But what's even more unbelievable is what happens next. Less than an hour later, Will Smith wins Best Actor for King Richard. He gives an emotional speech, talks about love, protection, family. But the moment is already overshadowed. The world isn't talking about the award. It's talking about the slap. Within hours, it's everywhere. Every platform. Every headline. But what would the consequences be? Days later, he apologizes publicly. Chris Rock doesn't press charges. But the Academy takes action. Will Smith resigns from the organization. Then comes the ban, 10 years. A decade away from the Oscars. Projects slow down. Studios hesitate. His image are fractured. But is that the end of the story? Not quite. Some projects still move forward. Emancipation releases in 2022. The Bad Boys franchise continues in 2024. His past work gets re-examined. His memoir gains new meaning. And now, his legacy stands at a crossroads. On one side, decades of success. Music, television, blockbuster films, awards. On the other, a single moment that changed everything. So the real question is this: can a career that big recover from one mistake? Or does that moment define everything that came before it? The answer might still be unfolding.